Hey everybody, I'm keeping that intro in, because I don't know how well that could have been heard, but I had my mic right up next to my head. Is the audio only coming in through one ear? I feel like it is. Technical difficulties. Brought to you by Super Metroid. There we go. Technical difficulties. So anyways, in the last episode, we made it to Meridia after clearing out the wrecked ship. In this episode, we're going to be finishing Meridia and maybe even moving on to Ridley's hideout, although I hope that that'll be in the next episode. Because I don't want the episodes to be screwed around, the schedule of the episodes to be screwed around anymore. Because I was wrong, apparently, with the placing of the episodes, or how far I'd get. So this chamber I actually really do like a lot, even though it does involve a lot of, or it's supposed to involve a lot of grapple jumping, but it's because the little snails that have the little xylophone noises. To just make, I just love them. So this is I'd say the only other mid-boss in the game. And that, I don't even know what you call this. It's an eel. Yeah. Basically, you just want to keep shooting it with super missiles until it bursts into 1,000 little pieces. Yeah, like that. It's not a difficult boss. None of these really are difficult. But might as well, since we are in the depths of Meridia, might as well talk about my feelings about the place. It's not my favorite world in Super Metroid. Honestly, I'd have to say the wrecked ship or Brinstar are probably my favorite. I mean, aesthetically, the Meridia looks beautiful. I love, like, all the designs here. I also love the fact that we got Metroids. Lots and lots of Metroids. But these aren't full-form Metroids. They're basically fake Metroids. Fake droids. Get me out of there. That's also the one thing I don't like about Meridia. There's a lot of sand, and I don't like sand. It's rough, and it's coarse, and it gets everywhere. You're welcome for the prequel reference, all you prequel fans out there. I actually follow someone on Twitter that is essentially takes the best memes from prequel memes, the subreddit, and posts them on Twitter. So I like the jokes. I like the jokes that they make about the prequels. My personal favorite is the one where they take the scene of Kiadi Mundi, like saying, "What about the Wookiees?" And they keep changing the phrase, so it fits anything. Future me, put up some examples of it, because I can't think of any actual examples right now, because I'm too busy just being annoyed at this stupid area. This, I'd say, if the first room is Mount Everest, this is the K2 of Super Metroid. It's the second highest peak, and it's just as annoying. But hey, we're at the end of it. So that's a fine and dandy thing. I'm gonna skip over this. I don't need saves. I am an amazing person. This boss fight is actually kind of a unique fight, and I've never really seen any game do it. Sure, you could fight the boss normally, just keep shooting it with super missiles and whatnot until it drops. But I prefer another way, which I found is a lot easier than going through all the hassle with all the super missiles and whatnot. Because this boss can be fought using the grapple beam. And I have never really seen that many boss fights that really like utilize two different methods to actually kill the boss. The only other I can think of that's actually around from this era too is Naval Piranha in Yoshi's Island, where if you hit Naval Piranha in its bud form with an egg before you even enter the room, the boss fight's over immediately. So yeah, the trick with this boss fight, if you want to do the alternate way, is you want to get caught by it, and have your grapple out and just wait. As it brings you up, then when you're in line with the shocky thing, just grab, and it's done. The boss is over. You just electrocuted the boss. Yeah, make sure you have enough health to do that. Because as you can see in the top right, it took out 1.5 of the bars pretty much, so it's a bit of a drain on the health, but it's worth it when you can kill a boss that easily. And also get one of the best items in the game, because now you can just go anywhere. You're like a flying master. Because now you're a jumping maniac. You're like a little bunny rabbit. Romping gracefully through the fields of Asphodel. What's a bunny doing in the Greek underworld? I don't know, but why is it running, prancing gracefully through the fields of Asphodel? That's another good question. One that I don't have an answer to. So, if you got an answer, put it in the comments. Why is the bunny in the fields of Asphodel? You're gonna get a lot of Metroids on your tail during this segment, but as long as you don't let them drain you completely, you'll be fine. Now, there was that door that was flashing, and we're gonna go back to that eventually, but not right now. Because we got some other business to take care of in the down here areas of... I was about to say Persona. Well, I'm not playing Persona, I'm playing Super Metroid. It is Meridia. I still can't do anything about those, but we will in due time. So, this is one of the more annoying parts of this game, and that's you have to keep going back to this room. Specifically, because there are two waterfalls, well, sand falls, I guess, really more accurate, that you can go down. And they both have items down here. And, well, you don't really want to miss them, because then you can't beat 100%. And that's not good. You can't have all them 100% games without actually getting 100%. That's just not how it works. And the interesting thing is, that means you have to, if you're going my route, go through that area, grand total, of 4 technically times. Once on your normal way through, getting to the boss. 1 time to go down the first one, 1 time to go down the second one, and a 3rd time to head back through to where the door back to the top is. And here's the other part that I hate about Meridia. You can't get out of the sand, even though I mentioned that a bit earlier. Because, it's annoying. It's really annoying. To get in there. Because it's rough, of course. It gets everywhere. I already made that joke. Not even 10 minutes ago. Because there's only 10 minutes in this episode, so it can't have been 10 minutes ago. And I'm actually moving through Meridia at a faster pace than I expected. Peter and I have mentioned probably this in videos past, but we're both big Runaway Guys fans, and in fact, it was alongside the Runaway Guys' playthrough of Super Metroid that I actually played Super Metroid for the first time. So this man, well, this robot I should say, will forever be to me Buzzsaw Manpants, and there's nothing that can change that. Even though he does not look like a man, he does not have pants. He does have buzzsaws though, and my favorite, not marimbas, snails. I don't know why my mind keeps going to calling them marimbas, but those are not marimbas. I don't know what they are. Maybe they're like a xylophone. Maybe it's considered a xylophone. I don't know. The clickety-clack, a typewriter. I'm gonna call them the typewriter snails, because that's the only thing I can think of right now that makes a noise like that. And even typewriters don't make noises like that. I don't know. Comment section. I'm asking a lot of you these, and I know you probably don't want to, but for comment's sake, can you tell me what you guys think that noise sounds like? Maybe like a marimba, or a xylophone, or a vibraphone even. Who knows? Maybe a glockenspiel. I remember my elementary school music teacher had glockenspiels in her room, and I mean, she never let us play on them, except when she wanted us to. That was the one sad thing about music class, because music class, to me, music was all about just experimenting with the instruments, see if you get a nice sound out of it. But unfortunately, and probably with good reason, she didn't let a bunch of 9-year-olds bang on the glockenspiel too much. And I mean, alright, that's okay, I guess. It's understandable. But man, did I want to play that glockenspiel. It was such a cool instrument. It had such a nice sound. I like it. What am I going back here? That music teacher is also the one that I learned how to play recorder during her class. Something that I do not remember a single thing of, but I think that... I don't know when was the last time I saw that recorder, but I know it was around somewhere, like years later, that I wasn't expecting it. And I realized why I was going down that door, because I was really aiming for this door, because this door is actually one of my favorite rooms in the game, because it has one enemy that is never seen anywhere else, and that is the mother turtle. And some people say this is also a reference to the Buzzy Beetles from the Mario series, and I think they might be right. Then again, they might be giants. Istanbul, Wisconsin, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I like this giant turtle, because turtles were always a cool creature to me, and they're really fun to ride upon. Like, I mean, I've never ridden on a turtle before. It would be just a bit strange. I'm a big boy, but I think I'd break the turtle. But it always seemed fun to do, like getting on one of those Galapagos tortoises and riding off into the sunset. It'd be an interesting thing to try at least once, if you know I could ever, which probably can't, and that's a shame. But that enemy is always kind of cool because you can't kill it. It can kill you, but you gotta really try for it to kill you because you're already at the point where you have a lot of health. So it killing you is a very unlikely thing to happen. Anyways, back to my riveting elementary school music stories. That is also where I learned the song Accentuate the Positive, because we had to sing that at our 5th grade graduation. And I remember I wanted to be... That was another chance that we could have gotten to be on the glockenspiel, because there were designated people to play like the marimba or the glockenspiel in the 5th grade graduation. And I remember I wanted to do that, but I was not a musical talented, so I never got a chance to. I did break dance on stage once, and when I say break dance, I realize that I am one of the whitest people out there, and I cannot break dance. But I did my dangdest to try and break dance on the stage, and I got a little like a kooky pen. I think I got as a reward because kooky pens were all the craze back in elementary school. It was actually such a craze that my school banned them. So then we moved on to the next thing, which was silly bands, which they also banned because we kept caring about them too much. And I think maybe some people were shooting the silly bands at each other, which is understandable because they're rubber bands essentially. But come on now, it's what kids are gonna do. You don't ban the whole group just because some of them are being used for like slingshots. You take away the slingshots. You don't take away the rubber bands. But anyways, so that silly bands and kooky pens were both banned at my school. And then the next one to go was the Go-Go's Crazy Bones. Because I don't know why. I legitimately don't know why that one. I managed to get one Go-Go Crazy Bone. And I still have that somewhere. There's a little yellow guy. He's somewhere on my shelf. I tried looking over at my shelf, see if I could find him, but he was gone. I cannot see him. But then again, he is like super tiny, so I doubt I'd be able to see him anyways. But yeah, those were also banned. Also playing real card games was banned. Even though we weren't betting, I was teaching some of my friends Casino, which is a fun card game. It's all based on kind of math. And my teacher thought that when we said we were going to play cards, I didn't bring the card deck, it was someone else's, but like we were playing like your standard card games, no betting, but like we were playing like blackjack and casino and no poker, because poker's not fun if you don't bet, but and I guess you could say blackjack's not fun without betting either, but I find it fun. So we were playing just some, normal card games. But as soon as the teacher found us, we told her we were playing cards. And she thought we had meant, like, those 24 cards. I'm not sure what, or, like, how many schools or kids grew up with that, but, like, 24 cards were these cards that, they had a bunch of numbers on them, and you had to figure out how to add them, or multiply them, or subtract them, or divide them. And you had to figure out how to get 24 out of all of them. So let's say it was like 3, 2, 3. No, hold on. 3, 2. So 6. And 2 and 2. So it'd be 2 plus 2 times 3 times 2, and you'd get 24. At least I'm thinking I'm remembering the number right. There's 24 cards. There's a program at my school called Sail. I was tested to go in, but I didn't make the cut. But it was essentially your gifted program, and I think that's how most of the people found out about these 24 cards, because while I didn't end up in the Sail program, a lot of my friends as a kid were in the Sail program. I tended to hang around with a bunch of smart kids, and considering that I'm a huge video game nerd, that should not be surprising at all. Well, so I'd found out about those 24 cards that way, and Sail always seemed like a fun experience, because you got to leave class early, and I mean, you had to do you had to do separate things over in, like, the LaSalle room, but they always seemed like fun challenges that didn't actually seem like schoolwork. Like, I remember one of the projects that I heard about was you had to make your own country, and that seems like such a cool idea. But yeah. Anyways, that was a long tangent to explain that the teacher just found out we were playing actual cards and not just 24 cards, and suddenly we couldn't play card games anymore in recess. Indoor recess, that is. I think if we were outdoors, we might be able to get away with it, but, like, who's gonna be playing cards outdoors? Like, honestly, if you had an outdoor recess, you were on the swing set. Like, because my school had 2 playgrounds. One of them was called the Blacktop, because it was just a giant blacktop. That was the more boring of the 2 playgrounds, because it was a lot of the basketball people had fun, but everyone else, it wasn't. And it was also when there was a lot of snow on the ground, but it was still nice enough to go outside, and the blacktop was cleared. Then we would have blacktop only, which was horrible, because there was two playgrounds. We tended to alternate. Like, I think every day it was the different one. And then when so, like, the other playground was called Fort Apache, because it was this giant like playground fort, and it was so cool. That was the best. But in, like, inclement weather, we'd either have indoor recess in the classroom, or if it was nice enough outside but there was, like, snow all over it, then we'd have blacktop only, which means we were completely confined to the blacktop, which is the worst. It was the worst recesses. Because, like, you could do one of two things. You could play basketball or sit there. And guess what I ended up doing most of the time? Just sitting there. That was a barrel of monkeys. That was a real barrel of monkeys. So anyways, we're getting close to wrapping up. I'll get to the get back to the main area, the landing site, and then gonna head back to the next episode where I think we're gonna head down to Ridley's hideout, because we are at 25 minutes, because I expected that Meridia was gonna take about 25 minutes, and boy howdy was I right. Well, there's a lot of things we can do. I mean, there's not really, but I don't know why I said that. I guess I'm really just trying to think of things to talk about, because I like you guys' company. You guys keep me cozy on a winter's night in this January to February week that I'm recording this. And probably it'll be going up starting tomorrow, I think. Or later tonight, maybe? Who knows? I mean, I guess I'll know by the end of the night whether or not. So yeah, as we head back to the starting area, I guess it's about high time that I say on the next episode of Super Metroid, we'll be headed to Ridley's hideout and going to complete the game at that point. So, I will see you in the next episode. See you all then. Good night.
We do not have many ships to spare.